Hello and welcome to another race in ALR Tier 1. This week it is round 7 at Abu Dhabi. Definitely one of the more difficult tracks on the calendar to overtake, I'd say. Really only two braking zones that you can overtake into, both of which aren't the easiest because they're both chicanes. So, you know, we all love a bit of chicanes. Anyway, just looking, currently have 13 drivers in the lobby. So, what I'm going to do is keep you guys up to date on the... Where is it? Standings. Here we go. So after last week, Tambi retains his lead at the top of the championship, and actually now extends it to 33 points over Stan, who is in second place. Boomer is currently third with 56 points, while behind him is Vilho on 55. He's dropped a long way in the last couple of races. He's been very unlucky the last couple of races, actually, Vilho. He been involved in a fair few incidents. Fifth is Hyped, who again was very unlucky last race with the disconnection. So I'm sure he'll be hoping for better this race. He has 36 points. 6 is Wilt, 7 Swen, 8 Ishtar, 9 Twanach, and 10 Ladder. 11 is Polhui, 12 is King David, 13 is Town, 14 is Johto, 15th is RDO, 16th is Hailstone, who hasn't actually appeared in a stream yet. Then 17th is Husam, 18th Pesky, 19th Dylan, who again hasn't appeared in a stream yet. 20th is Doogie. 21st Oswaldo, again hasn't appeared on stream as of yet. Behind him in 22nd, KDB. He also hasn't appeared on stream, but he has 2 points to his name, and the rest of the people with 0 points are... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, doesn't matter. Drove an Alfa Romeo for the first two races, hasn't appeared since. 24 is Rick, 26 is Mini Stocks, and 26th and last is Benny, who of course had a huge part to play in that Turn 1 incident in Bahrain. Now, let's see, as more people joined. We now have 15 drivers with 2 minutes to go until the race should technically start. Hopefully we can get a few more people in these last couple of minutes, otherwise it's not going to look as good as it has the last two times. Evening, Logie Bear. Tambi gonna win again? You never know. Abu Dhabi, you can probably find a fair few upsets here with safety cars and such, because obviously where it's hard to overtake here, it is quite prone to causing accidents. People get a bit desperate, go for gaps that aren't really there and cause a safety car, and that turns a whole race on its head. So if we get one or two of those, you could find a different winner, which will of course be more exciting for the championship. Yeah, just trying to wait. We now have 1 minute to go. We have 17 drivers, looking a bit better. Hopefully, if we have the last three, we can get them in ASAP. You would hope so, anyway. And of course, as always, don't forget to leave your predictions down below in the comment section. Who is going to win the race? You know, who's going to be on the podium? Who's going to get pole? Because obviously qualifying hasn't started yet. You know, anything you want to predict. Number of safety cars if you really want to. Make sure you're putting it down below so I can read it out. Right, it is now 8 o'clock. We have 18 drivers. Rick wants to go, clearly, as you can see. He's the only one though. I guess Twanach is also readied up. Yeah, Rick stopped spamming it now. Nice. Anyway, so hopefully we get going soon. Don't really want to sit around for too long because I'll run out of things to talk about, and that is never good. So please, let's go soon, please. Waiting for the notification that says ready up, please. I don't know. Actually, while we're here, where is it? Let's find out what everyone else is saying about this race. Interview lounge. Here we go. So, question number 1: which Tier 1 driver has overperformed the most this season? Some people are saying Wilt. Some people are saying Boomer. Some people are saying Stan. I honestly don't have a clue. I've been here for 2. This is the 3rd race I've been in this league for, so I don't know who's overperforming, but I'm sure if that's what people are putting, then that's probably right. Who will be on the podium this week at Abu Dhabi? Prediction number 1, Tambi, Boomer and Wilt. Prediction number 2, Tambi, Boomer and David. Prediction number 3, Stan, Wilt and Boomer. So Boomer the only one to appear in all 3 of those lists, as we have people readying up with 18 drivers on the grid. If only I could, you know, unspectate and drive, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. But I've got to commentate. I've got to know what everyone else is doing, and I don't have Abu Dhabi set up, so definitely not going to do that. Number 3, what will the pole time be? Dunno. A 1:33.2. That's a fast. Okay, some great inputs there. Number 4, where will the Ferrari finish this week at Monza? So this is for real life. 13th and 16th, 12th and 16th, 9th and 15th. 15th is DNF. Whew, people not very optimistic for Ferrari. I can tell why though, to be completely honest. Abu Dhabi is traditionally a track held at the end of the Formula 1 season. How do you feel about racing there so early on throughout the course of the season? That doesn't make sense, but I get what he means. I'd rather we never drove it, but at least it's not the season conclusion. Rather race here sooner, because Brazil's better for finale. Number 6, during the 2-week mid-season break, would you be interested in some other racing events, or will you be taking a break from the game? I can't wait to have to play this shit. Oh, I can't say that word. Sorry, I never said that. I never said the bad word. I cannot wait to have to not play this game and do hot lap 20 minutes before I spend over an hour driving around the circuit and get 30 seconds of penalties that drops me out the top 5. stay on the track then. 6 undecided. Yes please, the events. There we go, and we have a car exiting the pit already. I didn't see which one it was. I think it was a Mercedes. Some new names in here. Joe here, haven't seen that name before. In fact, that's the only new name here out of the 18. And outlap Johto, the first one on track, in the number 54 racing point. We saw that, cheeky. We've seen it. Yeah, don't blame him though. It's definitely, if you can get away with it doing something like that, why not do it, right? Brilliant. What? If only Johto knew we were watching him right now. I wonder if he'd still be doing it. Polfie wants to be crashed out so we can watch Love Island. Priorities. Oof. I'm not sure about that. Lamal. Yeah. He just wants to get out there. Yeah. I know. It's just kind of funny to see, to be honest. Mate, he's probably getting a better track layout with this line, to be honest. Anything will be better than the current layout. Boring as hell. Oh, I was half expecting him to go straight on there. And here we go, starting the first lap on board with Johto. Running down to turn 1, braking just before the 50-metre marker board, kissing the apex. Not taking as much curb as I expected there. You want to just kiss the curb on both of these apexes to get as little time lost as possible. He decides not to use the outside curb there. A lot of people would choose to brake on the outside curb. And you want to take as much as that little orange bit in the middle as you possibly can. A very early apex for that corner there. Most people would choose to brake a little bit later and have a later apex on the run down the DRS straight. The longest straight on the track as we run down to the weirdly narrowing part of the track, right before braking at the 100-metre marker board to hit the chicane. It runs a bit deep there, but recovers it for the second part of the chicane. Big bump on the exit there, very difficult to get the power down in time. You're bad at Abu Dhabi, okay. Braking across that curb to get as much space as possible into the triple chicane. A little bit of a slide there, but using as much exit curb as he can to make up for it. Now into the triple right-hander, braking as late as you can without running off the track. Very difficult to do. Again, kissing those orange curbs that you see, and that's a corner cut. But I don't know if it's invalidated or not, because I forgot to do this. It is invalidated. That was an invalidation. Ooh, nearly missing the pits there. Was that driver there, as Ladder Mallow will be the first one to cross the line with a 1:33.5. Only 3/10 down on the predicted pole time, so whether that one will stand or not will be interesting to see, as Joe has a 1:35.6 and Rick has a 1:34.2 to start off this qualifying session. Town with a 1:35.0 in the Haas. Okay, who will be next to cross the line? It will be the Red Bull of Stan. It will not be the Red Bull of Stan because he's invalidated his lap. Behind him is the Williams on an outlap. So I'm going to ride on board with Boomer for the rest of his lap. Actually, Swen's about to finish the lap. Goes fourth with a 1:35.6. And Boomer will go and invalidate his lap. Unfortunately for him. McLaren of Vilho crossing the line goes fourth with a 1:34.9, and the Haas about to cross the line I believe will be Twanach. No time, I think he was invalidated. So as we look to the Ferrari of King David about to start a lap, and after him it will be the Alfa Romeo of it'll be the Alfa Romeo of Ladamala, who I'm pretty sure will come into the pits at the end of this lap, so we don't need to be too worried about him, as yep, into the pits he goes. finish that sentence, if you know what I mean. Rick, again, going to appeal into the pits. So a stage of qualifying where everyone's going to appeal into the pits. It's very interesting, I've found so far in this league that a lot of these guys choose to not do a lap at the beginning of the session, as Husam will cross the line and go 5th place with a 34.9, as he will be followed by... Nope, he won't be followed by the Mercedes driver. RDO and Ishtar. RDO with his lap invalidated, so he will not complete it, but Ishtar's lap is still valid, so let's see what it's going to be. Crossing the line for a 1:35.2 puts him 7th place at the moment in the 21 car. Okay, the next driver who's actually going to cross the line I think will be King David, unless it's Bolt. No, it's going to be King David. So let's see what he's able to do at the end of this lap here. And the number 12, of course, Jensen Button's old race number. Across the line he comes, and it's 4th place with a 1:34.6, putting him 1.1 seconds off the current provisional pole time. It's looking more and more with every lap that is completed that there was an incredible lap by Ladamala to start this session off. I'm sure he'll be happy with it. Wilt on an outlap, Scholes on an outlap, the Alpha will be on an in-lap, the Red Bull Stan on an outlap. These guys are, yeah, choosing that 10-minute mark really to go out onto track instead of going right at the beginning of the session. I guess that's just what they want to do. One less running qualifying saves an extra set of tyres for the race, I guess. As the RDO, is he going to complete this lap? He hasn't invalidated it so far, luckily for him. Let's see what's it going to be for a 14 car. Of course, won't be able to run that number in next year's game because of Fernando Alonso, so unfortunate for him. He goes P4 with a 34.5, puts him ahead of people like Vilho and David, who it's quite surprising to see RDO up around these people. With Tambi, he's only a 10th of Tambi, so I'm sure he'll be quite happy with that lap at the moment. Let's see who's going to cross the line next. I think it'll be Polhu. It will. Okay, so let's see. Coming into the final sector here. So he's gone past the final sector split, so I don't know. I was going to see what time he was looking at. Very tight to the wall there. Very good stuff. It was another driver with the 22 number. Very popular, as I've noticed so far in this league. He goes P8 on the set of mediums with 1:34.9. He should be very happy with that. 1.4 off of the quickest time in the session so far, and he's up there with some very good company, even though he set his time on a compound harder tyres, as Wilt goes P4 with a 34.3. Let's see what Hypes does. Invalidates his lap is what Hypes does. Unfortunately for him, as we see some visual glitching going on. Stan coming to the end of his lap. Let's see. It's invalidated. Ooh, big tank slap on the exit there. Did very well to keep it in a straight line, as Benny has joined. So that will be our 19th driver in this session. Or Benny will be. So he will start last, unfortunately for him. But I mean, I guess he's just got to try his best to not have a repeat of turn 1 in Bahrain here at any point really in the first lap in Abu Dhabi. Okay, so we've got people on the fast laps now, for the second fast laps I should say, with 8 minutes remaining in the session. Let's keep an eye on Ladamara as he looks to be on a good time. I didn't quite see what he was doing there. There's yellow flags as people desperately trying to get out of the way so they don't get blocking penalties in qualifying, because that wouldn't be very good for them, would it? Interesting to see that Stan, Twanach and Hype are all still on flying laps. as I can see. So as Ladder comes into the pits, obviously did not feel like he was going to improve his time there. Yeah, starting from the back definitely did work for Hugh-san. It got him out of a bit of trouble when all the carnage went down, so I'm sure he won't be complaining too much about that. The two McLarens crossed the line, didn't see what times they did. From as far as I could tell, there wasn't a huge improvement as Twinatch is about to cross the line, and Twinatch puts himself all the way up in P8 with a 34.7. So a lot of these drivers are definitely on the higher end of the 34s. You've got a few in the lower end of the 34s and a couple in the higher 33s here, with Ladder Muller with 33.5, still your provisional pole time. I'm sure it'll be very hard to beat. Yeah, I'm surprised there's not more on the mediums as well, because from the softs this is a two-stop race for most people. So I'd have expected some people to try medium hards. For that one stop, gives you a bit of track position. If there's a safety car, it puts you in a good position, because everyone else will have to pit as hyped. The disconnects is what happens there. Unfortunately for him, it's not looking like his connection has improved since last week in Bahrain, where of course he was cost the win by a bad internet connection, which is not what you'd like to see at all. Tammy did soft mediums in practice earlier apparently. Really? Oh, I don't know if I like that. Soft mediums at Abu Dhabi. That is... His tyres would have been dead at the end of both stints, to be honest. They would have been right on the limit of what you can get away with in terms of puncture. So yeah, either he was quite lucky or he managed his tyres to perfection, because that's quite an impressive thing to do here at Abu Dhabi. Wilt was doing two stops apparently, yeah, and they were similar pace. Yeah, two stops. I'd imagine the soft mediums, because you'd be so much faster at the beginning of the stint. As the tyres wear, it's probably slightly faster overall compared to a soft hard strategy. But I can imagine the two stop being equally as fast as it was in 2019, the dominant strategy, as we all remember, I'm sure. Vilho on an invalidated lap here, so he will not get anything out of this, so we're going to ride on board with David instead. Interested to try it. It will be very interesting to see if they try it, and I'm sure I'll get annoyed at the recommended tyre strategy thing again at the beginning of this race. Oh, and David has backed out of his lap, decided not to go for it. Who else is on a flying lap? Ishtar is. Let's see what he's up to. Into the second DRS zone, short-ish pit lane here. Well, yeah, the pit lane itself isn't that short. It's the way it cuts back under the track which makes it much quicker, actually. It's a lot like Silverstone in that way, where at Silverstone you cut out the last few corners, and it's actually slightly quicker to be going through the pit lane. I remember one year in real life they had to do stop-goes penalties so much because there were people who were gaining time out of doing drive-through penalties. So yeah, places like here in Silverstone are very then you don't lose as much time when you go through the pit lane, as Ishtar does not improve his position with that lap. Boomer, interestingly though, on some medium tyres on his second lap, as Ishtar has left the session. And someone went very fast, but I didn't see who. Oh, Ishtar with P8. It was just a delayed response from the game there. Cody's really need to sort this game out, don't they? It's not, the multiplayer is not in a good place at all at the moment. Stan is also on a lap at the beginning of a lap, so we'll cut to him once Boomer's lap has finished. As he comes through the final little section here, Ishtar is back in the game. We saw him lagging around a lot a minute ago, as Boomer pulls into the pits, does not want to complete his lap So we now go on board with Stan, who is in the middle sector. Yeah, that line there. That's a very interesting line. Worked in 2019 as well, but if that line where you stick tight to the right side of the track is actually a couple of tenths quicker than taking the racing line, as the game would have you believe it. But yeah, that's a good trick for time trial too. So you guys see what Stan just did. Take notes. As Hyped is on a lap as well, going down the back straight there, so we'll cut to him once Stan's lap is over. Of course, just under 2 minutes remaining in the session, so everyone will be trying to get out on track right now. As Stan, a 1:33.4, has taken the pole time here in this session. It stood strong for a good 15 minutes here, but it's finally been beaten by Stan. So let's see, is Hyped able to beat even Stan's time? I feel like he might struggle after that lock up there, but let's see how he can recover this lap. Again, another one sticking tight to the left there. Good in the race as well, because it's not too bad on tyre wear to do that, so it's definitely a recommended thing to do. It's like at Russia, with the triple left-hander, you can stick to the left on the curb, and it's much quicker than actually taking the preferred line through the corner, and it's not too bad on your tyres, as Russia isn't too bad on your tyres in general. So yeah, good strategies for qualifying and race and time trial, really, to just know these small little tricks. Hyped coming to the end of his lap as someone improves. Can't see who. Not sure. Hyped will cross the line. And once the game decides to update the leaderboards, he will be second place. Whew, how close is that? 15 thousandths of a second between the two drivers. Incredible. I'm sure that lock-up there has cost him the time he needed for provisional pole, as he backs out, so he will not improve his lap. Unfortunately for him, P2 is the best he can hope for in this session. Stan is invalidated his lap. Rick coming to the end of his lap, also an invalidated lap, will not improve. As a few more guys cross the line, let's see what happened there. I don't think that Alpha Tauri, who just went flying off in the background, that was Boomer, absolutely flying off in the background. I don't think he improved his time, unfortunately for him. So he'll be starting P16 with a fresh choice of tyres. Sven coming to the end of his lap now. Let's see, is he able to improve from that last place? He is not. He slows down on purpose at the end of his lap there. I wonder what that was about. Very interesting tactic there. As Wilt gets up into P4, so he will start directly behind his teammate on the grid here. I believe Ladamala is coming to the end of his lap. Is he able to? He's 2 tenths up at the moment. So if he's able to improve by 2 tenths, he will grab pole as it stands. He crosses the line and he moves up into pole, provisional pole at the end of the session. If anyone can beat that, 1:33.3, I'll be very surprised. The time hasn't come down that much during the course of this session, which is quite surprising. Let's see what Twilight is able to as he comes to cross the line. P9, but David behind him manages P7, right behind Tambi, his teammate. And that is everyone except Hype, who has backed out of his lap, to finish this qualifying session. So this is the order that we will start in. Polhui with a 1:33.2, I missed that one, has taken pole from Ladamala, meaning that the Renaults with a slightly poorer showing here in qualifying so far, with P4 and 5 as opposed to their heights of P1 and 2 in last week's race. So, the starting grid for this race is Polhui, who was 9 hundredths of a second ahead of Ladamala. Back to Stan Ramosa in 3, who was 2 tenths off the pole time. Hyped 4, Wilt 5, Joto 6, Tambi 7, David 8, Rick 9 and Vilho 10th. People with free choice of tyres will be Twanach, RDO, Ishtar, Town, Husam, Joe, Boomer and Swen the Man. Of course, I'm sure they would rather be at the front on the tyres they qualified on than down the back with whatever tyres they want, but they do say that 11th place can be a very nice place to start from in league racing. Let's see what you guys are saying. Ex-Vilho is Rossi. Would have been top 5 but broke at the end to try and miss out from top 10 and came 10th. Rossi broke at the end, lol. But you should have finished your lap then, shouldn't you, really? To be honest, if you're going to be top 5, that would have been a very nice place to start, especially if you got ahead of one of those or even both of those very fast Renault drivers. Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake to have tried that one. Ex-Vilho is Rossi. So, let's go for the formation lap. Isn't this the most exciting bit of the race you've ever seen? What am I looking for? Tyres. Yeah, as I thought it would be. Top 10, soft tyres. 11th down to 19th, medium tyres. Yeah. I think it was fairly obvious that was going to happen. So, yeah, I can't really say I'm surprised. It'd be very interesting to see which of those guys on the alternate strategy can take advantage at the beginning of this race. Because of course it would be hard to keep up the soft tyre runners on the mediums, but if they are able to do it and even maybe make up some positions and break into that top 10 before their first stop, they should be able to gain a huge advantage out of their decision to start on the medium tyres. Especially as they'll have faster rubber at the end if they do decide to go medium softs, as I've been told is maybe possible. Again, these soft tyre runners will have to go soft to mediums, which is not as good, I don't think, because you're going to be so much slower at the end of the race. At the beginning of the race it is really difficult to break the trains of Slipstream and DRS. So I mean, if they can't drop those medium runners, they're kind of screwed. As Vilho is disqualified from the formation lap. Not sure why, no one else got disqualified, so I don't know what he made contact or who he made contact with. And there it is, our favourite, predicted tyre strategy. It says a 2-stop. Says soft, soft, medium, or medium, soft, soft. I don't think many people will be trying those strategies. I mean, maybe the soft, soft, medium, but I don't think any of these guys starting on the medium, will be looking for a strategy like that. Good luck, everyone. Lada, Polby, and Johto for podium. Interesting. Why is Wilt? It says Wilt on pole. That's definitely not true, as we were away for the start of this race. A very good start from Wilt, and no, don't do this to me, game. Polby's in the lead, but it says he's third. And there's McLaren. It's Vilho, not again Vilho. Yet again at the beginning of a race, Vilho has found himself way down the order from where he should be. And when is this man going to get any luck? There's a very tight squeeze there from the McLaren in the background, as there are cars going side by side through the hairpin, all damage for one of the Mercedes there, as he turned quite aggressively into Swen the Man. Let's see, is Husam able to defend down the straight? As everyone's having a go. If we look even up the front of the order, As Wilt trying down the inside of Tambi. He's gone off the track and Tambi's going to take the position back. You would have thought. No, Tambi unable to get that position back. Ducks to the inside though. He's 3 wide down into the chicane. It's not going to stay 3 wide as we have very close fighting there from Stan and Johto, just about managing to sort themselves out as we have one of the Alpha Tauris cutting the chicane there with this crazy start. This has of course allowed the top 3 of Polhui, Ladamala and Hyped, who has made quite a few positions off the start there, to break away already from Stan, who has found himself 2 seconds behind Hyped, which is not where he wants to be right now. It'll be interesting to see what the Ferraris are able to do. Tambi in particular, our championship leader, if he's able to make much ground up at the beginning of this race. A lot of ghosted cars there at the beginning. I'm a bit confused as to what was going on, as we have Ishtar and Benny in the pits. Again, Ishtar finding some bad luck. Something's going on with the... I don't trust that thing anymore, it's so broken, oh my god. As we see David getting a run on Johto down towards the second chicane. Of course there's 3 chicanes here. Hide UI? It is hidden. Oh, you want me to... That one. Okay. I didn't really think it makes a difference, but sure. Now we see Johto trying to make a move on Stan. Isn't able to find the gap, but someone ahead. Polhui looks like he was defending quite harshly there against Ladamala. Big lock up there from one of the drivers, wasn't able to quite tell who. As it's interesting to note, Benny on the hard tyres is looking to go to the end of this race. I would assume quite a risky strategy that. Yeah, the whole leader tower thing on the left really annoys me, as Hyped sets the fastest lap of the race from P3 there with the 1:38.4. Again, the Ferrari's looking close. This is, I think, the battle we want to keep our eyes on for now, as if they make a mistake, Rick is lurking in the background to take advantage, as is Wilt, but Wilt is slightly further back than I'm sure he'd like to be. Johto with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings this early on in the race is not what he would have been hoping for. Look at that exit from Tambi there, gaining on his teammate already. DRS flap opens, as it does for his teammate, as Ladder makes a move for the lead round the outside of the chicane, just about gives enough room. Switches to the inside, and he's got the position done, as Tambi makes a similar move and is ahead before the second DRS detection point. Will still get DRS, but his teammate coming back in, as is Polhui on Ladamala. So they come through the chicane. Polhui has regained his position. Hyped now, looking right on the back of Ladamala. Is he going to be patient, or is he going to go for a dive somewhere? Knowing him, he's probably going to be more patient, as he has been so far this season. However, you never know, especially at Abu Dhabi, where you've got to really make your overtaking opportunities come from nothing unless you're in DRS. As Twanach gets past Wilt not having a great start to this race, already dropping down to 10th position, unlike his teammate who has found his way onto the podium already. So as we get to the end of the third lap, as Wilt has left the session, I assume just for disconnect. I haven't seen him say it's retired, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But Polhui and Ladamala held position on the start, and Hyped and Stan have swapped. So Hyped one up, Stan one down. Johto, Tambi, King David and Rick are all one up, and Twanach is 2 up, while Wilt has gone 5 down. Tambi now passed Johto in the straight before even the DRS zone. So Johto must have made a fairly big mistake at the hairpin for the Ferrari to get past before the DRS zone even opens. And now King David follows his teammate through. That's a bit of a cut there from Johto, as he tries to switch back on David. Is he going to be able to get the run into the next chicane? Doesn't look like it, as he's looking a bit under pressure from Rick now. So that's not worked out for him well at all. There is Benny has retired from the session in the first sector, so didn't get here in time for qualifying, and has now caused a safety car by crashing out of the race at lap 4. So not a great race so far for Benny. Well, it's been an awful race for Benny, and it's now over, and it's not getting any better. So I'm expecting to see everyone pit here. Yeah, look at that. Top 4 pitted, top 5, top 6, top 7. Twanach decided not to pit. Very interesting from the Haas driver here, as he will take the lead of this race. And Hyped has overtaken Ladder in the pit stops there. A faster pit stop from the Renault crew has put him ahead of the Alfa Romeo, and Ladder Mallow will not be happy with that at all, as we see the drivers are now on the medium tyres. Not sure if they're going to try go to the end on that, but I have a feeling that confirms that they will be doing a 2-stop. Oh my god. Yes, oh my god. Kind of waiting on the rest of that sentence, but I'm assuming there's not one. So okay. What this has done is put both Haas drivers who started on the medium, along with Sven the Man, the fairly decent position, because they're now going to be on the same strategy as the rest of the medium runners here, who have just stopped. I would assume. I don't think 4 laps is going to make that much of a difference in this race. So, depending on how Polhui's strategy goes with the hard tyre, same with Boomer, Joe, RDO and Husam, all choosing the hard tyre and probably going to try and go to the end. Depending on how their strategy works out, these Haas drivers and Sven the Man, who all started fairly low down, could have now found themselves in a very good position in this race, having started on the medium tyre. As we now beg that the safety car comes in this lap, but it probably won't, because it would have already said, and Ishtar and Husam are a long way behind. So we'll have to sit for another lap behind Bernd Mailander in the safety car. How lucky are we? I'm sure the Haas drivers will be very happy where they are right now, kind of reflecting Grosjean and Magnussen's decision to pit on the formation lap in the real-life Hungarian Grand Prix, which found those two drivers a lot further up the order than they were used to. Same kind of thing here for Twanach and Town, but predictions. Oh, I think Polhui. I don't want to call who'll be on. I don't want to call who'll win, but I want to say that Polhui on his hard tyres will be in for a shout. I think that Hyped and maybe Sven the Man could find themselves on the podium as it stands. I think both Haas drivers might get swamped here a bit at the start. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to hold their positions, but we will see in the near future. I say the near future. Next, hopefully, at the end of this lap. But that could still take forever behind this safety car that we all love so much. We do love the safety car. Please stay in this lap. Please stay in the safety car in this lap. And that would mean that Twanach will now slow down to control the field at his own pace, as Vilho overtakes RDO. Very strange stuff. Has given the position back, but I'm not sure what he was doing to overtake under the safety car. Really, it's not necessary, as Twanach still surprisingly close to that safety car. I'd have thought he'd have liked to have dropped back just a bit more than that, as it stands, to really back the pack up, bunch them, so that he can get the best launch possible and leave them behind. But we will see. 2 corners to go, and they can go fast again. As Pulpy's past. Interesting. He was always ahead, so I don't know what the game's all about. And we're going fast again. Green flag is out, and Twanach, with an incredible launch there, has dropped his teammate pretty convincingly, as Husam has spun in the final corner. I hope that he wasn't side by side with Ishtar there, because you really shouldn't be side by side until you shouldn't be side by side until the line where you can actually overtake, as that's now Hyped is left the session, is dropping down the order fast, and Tambi with a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Husam with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That'll be track limits stuff, the usual. So Hyped looking from a very good position in this race, and this disconnection, even though he is now back in the session, this disconnection will not do him any good, as it's dropped him all the way to 14th place in this race. Looking a bit crazy up the front here, as pack is starting to catch back up to Twanach, who did initially get a great launch from that safety car restart. Oh, he's looking to go side by side, is Ladamala, through the triple right-hander, as he's already gotten past Polpy on the restart. He's now made his way through on Sven the Man. He's definitely going to gun it past this Haas as soon as possible as well, I would imagine. Very good stuff from the Alfa Romeo driver, just picking his way through the field very nicely at the beginning here, as he's now going to make the move past town. Around the outside of turn 1, it's going to be tight. Is he going to be left room? I don't know, because I can't see, but he's ahead, as Polpy back there was definitely not left room by King David. Still side by side. Is he going to go for a move through here? Ishtar with another 3-second time penalty. Another one, yeah. But getting a bit crazy here in the midfield, I think. I'd say that. Getting a bit crazy all over the field, I'd say. As Boomer loses a position to Polpy. Polpy is dropped quite a fair bit back that I haven't noticed. He obviously getting pushed off the track, costing more time than I realised. As Hyped, who is now back in the session, is fighting for position with the Mercedes. There's a 3-car tangle there, as Hyped nearly got sent straight into that outside wall. That would have been very unfortunate. That would have just been the nail in the coffin for him today, as that dive is a bit opportunistic. I think there was contact there. There's definitely contact there. He's driving with the red mist up a bit, I think. Very aggressive stuff there. Not really what you'd like to see from these guys here today, but he's through, he's got the position, and I'm sure that's all he cares about at the moment, is trying to make up for all that lost time from behind the safety car. And as expected, Ladamala in the lead of this race already, DRS enabled, but it does not matter for that Alfa Romeo driver, who has a 1.7 second gap after half a lap. Hey, that rhymes. In the lead of this race, and he's going purple once again. Very good stuff from him so far. Johto tucked right up behind Stan here. He's going to do it down the inside. Oh, and 2 cars. Not quite getting the second car there, but Johto's going to have the better. No, he's not. He's going to have the worst exit off that corner there, and that's going to allow Stan to come right back through. So he probably could have timed that move a bit better as he's not actually gained anything from it at the moment. As Tambi's through on both. Tambi got through on Town, but Town's losing positions quite fast. I think he may have had a tangle with Sven the man there, which has caused him to drop back down to 7th place, up to 6th, ahead of Johto. Side by side, very close to the chicane there, as Johto just about gets out on top, but does get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so I imagine he probably cut one of the corners on his way to doing that. As yellow flags, and it's Hyped. Hyped has found himself facing the wrong way, and I would imagine that is due to more of that aggressive driving that we saw earlier on. It has not benefited him this time round, as he's found himself down in 16th place. Okay, that's ridiculous. 3.5 seconds after a lap and a half. That is actually dumb. And Twanach is getting away from Swen as well. Tambi all over the back of the gearbox of that Alpha Tauri. Is he going to go for a move before the DRS straight? He's not. He's going to stick behind. He's going to be patient. He's going to wait until this DRS zone to make his move. With a much better line, it must be said, through that hairpin. He's going to get the better exit out of the two cars here. Opens DRS. Look at the gain. Look how fast he gains with that DRS, and I'd imagine a bit of ERS too as we head down with this camera angle that doesn't help at all into the next corner. And yeah, Tambi's ahead. Thanks Cody's for that great camera angle, really helped a lot. Joe will win. I'm sure he hopes the same, as Rick has found himself dropping a couple of positions here. Obviously a bad exit off of the chicane or something. He might be about to lose a third, as Boomer thinks better of it. Ooh, very wide there from Boomer. As Rick with a very good run through there. Looking at the back of that Haas. Town having already dropped to the lower end of the points in this race, unfortunately for him. As Vilho gets another penalty. Yellow flags, and that's Boomer. Boomer round, and he's tangled with Vilho at the... is it a chicane? No, not chicane, I'm done. It's a 90-degree corner, really. The end of the triple right-hander. Those two have come together. I hope neither of them have got any damage. Vilho has got damage, and Boomer has not, I think. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that one later on in the stewards reporting area. Twanach with a hungry Tambi all over the back of him. Tambi again with that different line through the hairpin gives him a better exit, going wider on entry and the later apex, and DRS should make this an easy pass as he breezes past the Haas driver down the straight. Up into second place as Stan gets through on Swen, and Johto's looking at Swen as well. Swen not having any of it, pushes him very wide. They touch, just about kept it out of the wall there, very close from those two. DRS now for both drivers, so I want to see is... Oh, he switches to the inside very late. Was he given room? He was just about given room there by Swen, who saw the move coming and is able to keep ahead. Tambi now with a 6.7 second gap to close down. Can he do it? Guess we'll find out. And Swen is really starting to form a train behind him here, isn't he? Definitely not able to keep onto the back of Stan, who only passed him a lap ago, and he's already looking at the back of Twanach, looking to knock the Haas driver off of the podium. Look at the curb he's using on that corner there. That is how you take that. As Wilt is past Town, who has pitted, so I'd imagine that means Twanach will look to pit next lap. Boomer, it's on Town again. Town, who's decided to go on softs. He's on 12 laps on the medium, and he thinks he can take softs another 15 laps. As Hyped truly is trying to make his way back through this field on those fresh medium tyres, as Stan gets past Twanach with relative ease down the straight there, and Johto getting past Sven. These guys on older tyres are just getting mugged now. As King David having a look on a move as well. Is he going to be able to make it? It's going to be difficult with the Racing Point in the way. Let's see what happens if they run down there. Sven on the outside, he's had to cut the chicane because it's 3 wide and that does not work through there. It's still 3 wide. It's still 3 wide. How have they kept this 3 wide? Oh no. Why do I feel like this is going to go wrong? No, they've kept it clean. That's incredible driving from these 3 here. As Sven is forced out of room on the exit of that corner there, and that is his challenge over, I would imagine. Polwy with a penalty. Not what he would want at this stage in the race, as Husam overtakes Vilho for the lower end points. What's going on here? Wilt and Joe, I think that is, Twanach, sorry, have pitted. So that's, oh my god, stop moving, this is actually giving me a headache. Twanach and Sven have pitted for hard tyres to go to the end of the race. Who's close? This is close. Let's go on board with David. Let's see how much he can gain down the straight. Not using overtake mode, interestingly enough. But so all of this gain is DRS alone, and look how much he's gained just through the use of DRS. That is actually insane. How powerful DRS is on this track. With a bit of slipstream, of course. 3 tenths now, 2 tenths. Is he going to go? He's going looking to the outside into the triple chicane. Leaves room for the Racing Point. Just about left room on the exit. Good respect between these 2 drivers here, and Johto cuts the corner, and as a result will force David out wide, but David will get the move done regardless. Johto back down the inside here at the right-hander, triple right-hander, still side by side through the hotel section. David got ahead, but that has now opened Johto up to a move from Polwy. Polwy has moved ahead of his teammate after that very strong defence he put up against David. David now moving up into 4th place and Polwy into 5th, making this a Ferrari 2-4 as it stands. Much better than they're doing in real life right now, it must be said. Rick, of course, don't count him out, he is lurking in the back, waiting for one of these guys to make a mistake. Of course, DRS is still, these guys are still within DRS range, so we're about to do it all again on this lap. Let's see what's gonna happen, as I'd imagine those medium tyre runners will get a better exit than the hard tyre runners, except David will not have the advantage of DRS this time around. Look how rapidly that Racing Point is catching. He's looking to the outside, brakes later, but David already outbroke himself a bit, and he's, oh yeah, he's just about caught it, but that has sent his teammate Johto round, and Rick has moved through on Johto. He's now looking to overtake Polwy after the contact with David. They're both catching David though. Is it going to be a move? He's looking around the outside. David turns him very aggressively. He's got damage. That's a half spin. Just about catches it there, the Racing Point driver. However, he does have damage, and I think he's just spun again. Very unlucky for Polwy, who was our pole sitter, has now retired from the race. And I don't think we can call that anything other than a rage quit. Luckily it was a manual retire, I think, so it's not going to cause any safety cars or anything. So these guys can get on with their race, as that McLaren has lost it. Rick lost it all on his own through the exit of the penultimate corner, sorry, and everyone's having to go round him to avoid him. How is this not a safety car? How is that not a safety car? He's right on the racing line. What is going on? People are avoiding him and everything. People are genuinely have to get off the track so they don't hit that car. Why is there no safety car out? Look at this. Look what that car is. As it now disappears. That is strange. As we saw someone locking up, I think it was Tambi. Tambi, interesting to note, has dropped further behind Ladamala now. So Ladamala really stretching his legs in this race, getting the gap up to 10 seconds. That curb, yeah, I hate that curb, genuinely, so bad. But very unlucky for you there, Rick. Let's see what's going on. Anyone? RDO looking very close behind Joe here on the hard tyres. Both car drivers are on the hard tyres at the moment. Let's see. Just going to sit behind. Probably going to wait for that DRS zone. Bit loose on the exit there from RDO, but it's not lost him too much time. Yeah, I saw as David now pits for what I'm assuming will be soft tyres to the end of this race now. Yeah, you definitely had the chance to get past David there. No, he's got mediums. Maybe he's run out of softs then, unfortunately for him. Yeah, you were looking strong in this race, Rick, but that is just really, really unfortunate. Hopefully you get a better luck next time out. There's Twanach, also very close behind Boomer, so let's keep an eye on how that goes. Just about under a second there is RDO. He's going to open the DRS, gaining down the straight, but it's not going to be enough, I think. No, still 8 tenths behind. However, Twanach is much closer. Still doesn't go for the move. Going to wait until the second DRS zone. Look how close up he behind the Alpha Tauri he is there. He pulls to the inside. This should be an easy move for the Haas driver, and it is. The Haas driver, who's on fresh hards, has no issue getting past Boomer on his older hards. Now let's see what is Hyped able to do. Nothing. Hyped is not able to get past Swen the man. Swen the men. He's pushing hard, was sitting behind like a grandma waiting for a mistake. What happened to Pulver? Yeah. That's why we don't drive like grandmas. As Stan is past Tampi. In fact, they're both in the pits. So it is a 2-stop here in this race for most drivers. But is Ladamala going to try to go to the end as Joe moves himself up into P3 in this race and RDO into P4 with those hards that I am pretty sure they're trying to take to the end. This has just got interesting. Why is Tampi so far down? He must have served the penalty as Town gets past Johto who's in the pits. Now this has made it interesting. Who is 1-stopping and who is 2-stopping? Guess we'll find out. These guys in the fresh mediums are going to be pushing like hell to the end. I don't understand. This is definitely close enough to go on softs to the end, so I'm not quite sure why they've decided not to do that. As we see Tambi getting past Boomer with a fair amount of ease. There's a slow moving, I believe that's Hyped, getting passed by Ishtar. So something else has happened to Hyped in this race and he's dropped down to P15. It's not been his race so far. However, he is tucked right up behind the Williams of Ishtar now. DRS flap will open. And Ishtar's already derating with the lack of ERS as Town is passed by Johto. He switches to the inside with a dummy move. Down inside, he's locked up though, he's missed the chicane. He's going to have to cut the second part and give that position back. Now, is he able to keep it behind? He is. So he didn't get the second part. He did not get the second part of DRS there, sorry. So Ishtar has defended his position with the extra DRS. Yeah, lovely stuff from Joe. As you say that as he pits. So he is not going to the end. He is in fact in 12th place on mediums to the end. Again, go softs. It's late enough in the race to do that. However, RDO under pressure from Stan here for P2 in the race. Very wide there at the hairpin, and that's allowed Joe to, or Stan, sorry, to sneak up the inside. A bit of contact on exit there, and Stan will open that DRS lap, and that will be an easy move for him there. Twanach now under pressure from Tambi, as Hyped is going slowly again. Probably he's going to pit and retire from this race, as Tambi gets through on Twanach, and David gets through on Swen. Everyone with pretty much identical moves that time round. Let's see who's able to fight back. Looks like Swen will not go for the move as he gets the 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Just extended that track on the entry to that chicane a little bit early, and Ladamala is into the pits for his second stop in this race. What is the gap going to be when he comes back out to Stan, who has already done a lap on the fresh medium tyres? Gonna be honest, it's going to be huge, because Stan is only just approaching the final corner now, and Ladamala has already made his way through turn 2. Wow, his dominance in this race really is impressive. Wow. 10 seconds is the gap back to Stan in P2. Incredible. Tambi now looking on the back of that Williams of RDO. Is he going to be able to do it soon? And that's Town. Town has retired. Oh, he's lost it at the second safety car. The safety car has come out with 9 laps to go in this race. Wow. Town losing it through turn 2 and 3, and he's hit the wall. No, that is so unfortunate from him there. And another retirement in this race. That will make the 4th retirement from this race. 15 drivers left, and we've got a safety car. 9 laps to go. This will be interesting, as a lot RDO I think will have to pit here, because him and Boom are the only ones on those old hards, along with Ishtar, who's not really a threat in this race anyway. So Ladamala and Stan and Tambi will be fighting it out for the top 3 fairly now, as it will be the whole field bunched back up. What an insane turn of events, so close to the end of this race. That's the 2nd safety car of this race, so I mean, keeping consistent, I guess. Lovely sticking. What do you mean? So yeah. Oh, and Husam's out of the race too. What happened to him? He's stopped just before the hairpin, so I think he's crashed with someone else there. Very unfortunate for him, leaving us only 14 drivers in this race as RDO. Sorry, this is Joe. Joe, who was on fresh mediums, has decided to pit, as RDO has also decided to pit. Why is Joe pitting? He didn't need to. Why is he pitted? This is so strange. And look at these guys, all on the soft tyres. That will be a threat come the end of this race with those soft tyres. Softs to end, yes. Softs to end, definitely. Why? Yeah, I don't know why Joe's just pitted, but he obviously had some kind of reason to do it. Yeah, softs will definitely go to the end from here, RDO. Just push as hard as you can. P7 right now. If you can get a few more positions, you could find yourself on the podium with those soft tyres, with 8 laps remaining in this race. And now we have to deal with the safety car, everyone's favourite. So this is everyone's legitimate positions now. Everyone's pitted for the final time in this race, they would hope. So let's just have a quick look at the stops. So everyone in the top 10 has done 2 stops. Now Joe and Vilho with 3 stops, and Ishtar and Hyped with 4 stops. Not been a great race for either of those two. Really, it's been a week to forget. especially for Hyped. He's had a really bad couple of weeks with disconnections and silly incidents, so he's dropping a fair way down the championship after this one, I think. Having a look at the position change. So Ladamala is up one position from where he started. He is into the lead, as of course Polhui, who grabbed pole, get it? Polhui, who grabbed pole, is out of the race. So Stan is also up one position from third to second. Tambi up 4 into the third place, and King David following him up 4 into fourth. Johto up 1 into 5th, whilst Wilt is down 1 into 6th. So they've basically just swapped. RDO with a lovely race so far, up 5 positions to find himself in 7th. Twanach up 3 into 8th, and Swen the Men up 9 positions to 9th place. Of course, he qualified last and started P18 because obviously Benny joined midway through qualifying. Boomer, rounding out the points, 10th place, is up 7 positions, and Joe is up 5 to make it 11th place. Bilho is down 2 to be in 12th. Ishtar has held position in this race, the only driver to do so, and is 13th place. Hyped is down 10 positions for 14th place. Very, very unlucky from him today. But here we have our top 3 drivers. I can get rid of the tyre thing now. We all know what tyres everyone's on. We all know that they're not stopping again. Let's see what everyone will be on 100% ERS now, so they'll be pushing flat out to the end of this race. As the safety car is not coming in this lap, mainly because Hyped has not caught the back of the pack yet. So we will have to sit another lap behind the safety car, which will mean that the safety car will end at the end of lap 22, giving us only 6 laps of racing here at the end. Oh, safety car is in this lap. That was a very late message to say the safety car is in this lap. Literally only 1 corner before the pit lane, so not giving our drivers much time at all. And someone's collided with someone because they've all got penalties. Looks like a lot of the guys in the midfield have all made some kind of contact under that safety car restart and have gained themselves 5-second time penalties as a result. Great getaway there from Ladamala on the restart. Already pulled a second back to Stan, who himself has 7/10 back to Tambi, who's under pressure from his Ferrari teammate. Hyped is past Ishtar, as Ishtar is going slowly for some reason. Oh, he's got damage. Ishtar has damage, and it's yet another weekend to forget for Ishtar then, as have been the last few really. Of course, DRS will not be enabled until lap 25, I want to say, meaning that we'll only get 3 DRS laps in this race, unfortunately. I was saying Wilt has had an incident on the exit of the chicane, which has dropped him to last, and he's got damage. It looks like he was spun, having gone side by side through the chicane there. Oh, what a... Oh, Johto's retired! What happened to Johto on the inside of the triple chicane? He's been put in the wall. Let's see where that car is as we come through with Wilt. We can't see where that car is as we come through with Wilt. Wow. Virtual safety car as well, so that will neutralise the race a bit. Stan already having fallen 4 seconds behind Ladamala. So Johto being the 6th retirement of this race. We have 13 drivers left. Incredible stuff here. Wilt having also been spun only 2 corners before, and he's going into the pits. This he's any hope of points really for Wilt has just been destroyed really, as the virtual safety car has ended. Twanach with a drive-through penalty for speeding under this virtual safety car. That is not what he was hoping to see. Very unfortunate for him, but I know the game can be a bit dodgy sometimes with the restarts. Of course, DRS still not enabled, so overtake mode will have to do for now, as Tambi is gaining on Stan ahead, as Vilho is cleanly past Joe, even before the braking zone, so the overtake mode doing wonders for him. But Joe, having a little look back around the outside, decides better of it, and will stick behind for P10 as Vilho moves his way up into P9. Up ahead though, the Alpha Tauris getting involved a bit with the Haas of Twanach. There's a lock up there from the McLaren of Vilho. Doesn't cost him much time though. Someone hit a bollard, I think. Come on, Joe. I'm sure he's doing his best. It's very difficult here at the end of the race with things the way they are. Let's see now. Boomer getting very close to the back of his teammate Sven here. Is he going to try anything before that DRS zone? I would doubt it, as DRS is finally enabled on lap 24, meaning that this race should see a few more overtakes about to happen. Hopefully, as Joe's into the pits, and so is Hyped. What happened between... Oh, for the... Hyped is pitting. Hyped has damage and Joe has a drive-through penalty. Oh, it's just gone bad to worse for Joe here, really. Of course, Twanach will have a drive-through penalty that he also needs to serve before the end of this race. Otherwise, he'll be disqualified. Ooh, RDO looking very close to the back of David here. Is he going to go for a move? He looks at he sent it. He's outbraked himself by an absolute mile. He'll rejoin safely, but he's a long way behind David now. It's dropped to a second as the gap. He's now got to defend from Twanach in the Haas. I'm sure Twanach won't fight too hard, considering the fact he's got to serve a drive-through. And he doesn't. RDO keeps his position ahead for now. Ladder Mallow with a 3-second gap in this race. It's only been like 2 laps since the safety car came in, and this man has a 3-second gap already. It's really dominant here so far in this race. He will be very happy with the way he's performed so far. Touchwood, don't want to commentators curse this. Ladder Mallow with the fastest lap of 1:36.8. Very fast race time indeed. Boomer looking very close to the back of Sven, still was unable to make a move that lap around, so he's going to hope for better luck this time, as Sven is actually very close to the back of Twanach, so it might be difficult for Boomer to find an opening here unless Twanach and Sven make a mistake. Tambi with a pretty poor exit, as already looking for the move is Sven, sorry. He's sailing past Twanach with ease, I would say, except Twanach looks like he's deployed a lot of overtake mode there, and so the move has not been completed. Tambi is just unable to close down this gap to Stan. It keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and then all of a sudden it goes back up to that 9/10 gap. He's got 3 laps left to find a way past, otherwise it's going to be unfortunate for him to not get past him by the end of this race. I'm sure he would rather finish second than in third. I mean, that's a pretty obvious statement. Of course he would. Why would you settle for third when you can have second? Just hope he doesn't try anything too dangerous here at the end of this race, as David gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting the track, and Twanach comes in to serve his drive-through, releasing the 2 Alpha Tauris onto RDO, who is currently down in 5th place and is looking fairly unable to keep to the back of King David at the moment, as King David is also struggling to keep onto Tambi, just dropping outside that 1 second. Tambi just staying inside that 1 second on Stan. But ooh, that he's gained 3 tenths of the hairpin alone. I don't know if Stan made a mistake there, but it cost him a fair amount of time. And Tambi now gaining all the way down the straight gap. He's looking for it. He's not gone for the move. He's going to line himself up through the chicane, and on the exit opens the DRS flap and will run down this straight, only 3/10 behind Stan. Not using his overtake this time round, very interestingly. So he's decided to stick behind the Red Bull driver for now, as the gap up to the leader has expanded to 5 seconds. This is something else. As Ardio's off the track. He's been... I don't know if that's a mistake he's made on his own, but he's a long way off the track, a place where it's unusual to see. So yeah, I don't know, he's got damage to the front left part of his wing. So I don't know if he's tried to move through that left-hander there, and it's not worked out for him, as he's touched Vilho by the looks of it. And that is a very disappointing end to Ardio's race at the moment. He is going to continue on, try and hold on to 8th place with that broken front wing, but it is not looking likely with Ishtar and Twanach. Actually Twanach not so much, but Ishtar definitely closing in as we speak. Tambi 8/10, 7/10, 6/10, 8/10. Is that going to be close enough for him to make a move this lap? If not, he will only have this and next lap to make a move. Is he going to find a way past before the end of this race, or is Stan just about going to hold on? He stays behind for another chicane. Can he get him on the second DRS zone? 3/10, 2/10. As he closes in with DRS, it looks like Stan's using ERS because Tambi is not. And he stayed behind yet again. This gives him 2 more real overtaking opportunities in this race on the DRS zones. 1 lap left to make his move. It's now or never really for the Ferrari driver if he wants this P2. Same story really with Boomer, as he sits behind Sven for another lap, running low on ERS, whereas Sven, actually he's got more ERS than his teammate does, so that could play to his advantage on the last lap. Tambi looks like he's kept really close behind Stan so far this lap, as the 2 Renaults at the back are having a absolute ding-dong battle. Look at this, side by side the triple chicane. Just about Wiltz won the position over Scholes, overhyped. Why did I call him Scholes that time around? I have no idea. As Ishtar is now past RDO, so it's just getting worse for the Williams drivers in this race, but Ishtar will be happy to pick up some points from this horrible race really. Tambi, 3/10 is the gap. He's visibly closer. Look at that. He's already on the back of that Red Bull. DRS opens now. He's deploying ERS down the straight. Is he going to go for a move? Very defensive there from the Red Bull driver. He's trying to go round the outside is Tambi. He brakes late. The Red Bull locks up, outbrakes himself a bit. Just keeps it clean, and Tambi is ahead of Stan on the final lap of the race. Can Stan do anything about it though? He has DRS to come back with. Is he going to send a dive? He is not. And David may have thought he had half a chance there for a second. He still does if he can get alongside for this triple right hander. He's using overtake, he's going for it. He wants this position at the end of this race, and decides better of it. That's a big lock up though from Stan. Does keep it on the track though. RDO with the 3-second time penalty. I'm sure that will be the nail in the coffin for him and his points. Actually no, he will still score points. Can David make a move through the last corner? He can't. Now what's penalties going to do to this race? Tambi with his penalties. And David has penalties as well. That has meant that Ladamara of course has won this race, but Stan gets P2 after the penalties have been added, and Sven holds on for P3 after being down in P5 for that last section of the race. I'm sure he will be absolutely over the moon with that. David with 4th, he had less penalties than his teammate. Boomer with 5th, not quite having the gap that he needs to get onto that podium, or that 4th place even. Tambi P6, not what he was hoping after making a move for P2 at the end of this race. Yeah, Sven, the man with the most positions gained, netting him driver of the day in the game's opinion. Of course, we may disagree. I definitely think that Ladder Mala, with that incredible drive, absolutely dominant, does deserve a shout out, and definitely has his a shoe-in for driver of the day. He was perfect all race. You can't really fault what he did, and he was just the fastest on track. And you know, when the fastest man wins, you can't complain. So that's how it is. As we now wait for the loading screen to finish. We do love F1 loading screens. They are absolutely top class, quickest loading screens you've ever seen. Okay, so your finishing order was Ladder Mala with the win and a 5-second time penalty, so maybe a bit closer than he thought at the end there. Stan, also a 5-second time penalty, second. Sven, 6 seconds time penalty, third. David, fourth, with 11 seconds of penalties. Boomer, fifth, 9 seconds of penalties. Tambi, sixth, with 14 seconds of penalties, I think that's said. Twanach, sixth, no penalties. And I don't get to see the rest. I am lucky. I'll actually just read out the rest of the order in a second. So Tambi was 6th, Twanach 7th, Vilho 8th, Ishtar 9th, and Ardio holds on for 1 point at the end there after that broken front wing. Hyped 11th place, very unlucky to miss out on points there, 2 seconds behind Ardio he finished. Joe 12th, and Wilt came 13th, the last of the finishers. And of course we know the non-finishers from this race. Very unlucky from those guys. But it was a very, very exciting, action-packed race that was. Couldn't believe what was going on when that safety car came out at the end. Definitely some very unlucky drivers in here. At the same time, other drivers who were just made their own luck today. Good example of this, Ladder Mala. Really no stopping him today, was there? Yeah, he just dominated start to finish. Well, he dominated from the second he took the lead, which wasn't quite at the start, but was very early on. So you cannot fault his drive today. Of course, there was the Tier 2 stream going on at the same time today. And remember that on Sunday, the Tier 3 stream will be happening at 8 PM UK time. And on Tuesday, there will be the Sprint Championship, which is 2 25% races, one after another, on 8 PM on Tuesday. So make sure you guys are tuning in for those races for more action just like this. That's all from me today, so thank you for watching and goodbye.